Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today at the Inward Somatic Studio. I'm Tracy, and I'll be your guide today. Today's practice is what I'm going to call the daily. Now, this is my personal practice. This is how I got started doing somatic yoga, I guess, if you want to call it that. This is what I started doing for myself when I was really struggling with my anxiety, when I was at my really scary kind of spirally points. This is what I started to do for myself. And I started to do this in some form just about every day when I could. Some days didn't allow for it, right? Sometimes it's schedules, sometimes you're sick, sometimes life. So take for that what you will. Sometimes it was just bits and pieces. But it really is the foundation of what I started here with the Inward Somatic Studio. This will be a longer practice, so feel free to take chunks of this and incorporate those chunks in ways that work for you and your schedule. Now, this as a whole as a practice for me works best for my body, whether it's because of my scoliosis or because of, I don't know, I sit a lot. I don't know. A lot of it's really back based. It's really working on the spine and really stretching out the spine and really feeding those side benders and stretching those, oh, my back hurts, low back, mid back, even kind of up and that higher, not quite cervical, but really working up higher in. So if you've got back pain, this one's a great one for you. Tune in, okay? So today's the daily, and I really want you to focus on the physical curiosity, the physical creativity, oh, that feels interesting. That's what we want to focus on. We want to tie your brain to the physical sensation, the positive physical sensation. So that's the focus for today's practice. Now, when you're building your daily practice, or at least your regular practice, whatever that looks like to you, I want you to consider your environment. We don't all have big fancy studios. Surely by now you will notice that my practice is not in a big fancy studio. It's in my office. I got my Cricut over here. I got my books and my files. Like, this is where I have room to practice. So this is where I practice. You have room to practice where you have room to practice. You don't need a big fancy practice, right? You just need room for your mat. That's it. You can do it in your closet for all I care, as long as you find a place. But think of getting your mind in the right place to do this practice, because this is a mental practice. I think I just said practice about 20 different times. Sorry, I'll try to sub in a different word. But this is just as much physical as it is mental. So when you devote your time to slipping into this somatic yoga, get yourself mentally ready. Work with those kind of Pavlovian cues to get yourself in a mental space to do it. Maybe it's putting on music. Maybe it's putting on nature sounds. If you want something that is very different, try putting on the sounds of birdsong. That's actually scientifically backed, because birdsong, anthropologically speaking, meant that our environment was safe. If birds were singing, the environment was quiet. There weren't predators. There was no environmental threat. Birdsong. Highly, highly recommend. The other thing is smell. Whether you have seen it in my videos or not, I've got my incense burning because, yeah, I'm a little hippie like that. If you're looking for incense, if you've never purchased incense, World Market. Nice array of incense. Or it's just, spraying a little room spritzer, whatever. Smell is great. Music is great. Just kind of get in the mood, right? You want to get in the mood to be mentally here. If you can lock your door, lock that door. Do not allow anybody to interrupt you. I do allow the dogs to interrupt me because dog dax. But in your practice, be here. You've devoted this time. I implore you, be here. And I know that's so hard. I know it is. Practice. So now that we're in this practice and I've yammered on for like 20 minutes, let's start. We're going to start with our deep, full breaths at your pace. But remember to fully breath in, or big, full breath in and out at your own pace. I encourage audible breaths. It does wake up your vagus nerve, and the practice that we are doing here is a calm, relaxed practice, so wake up that vagus nerve. Why not? All right, we're going to start standing today in our forward fold. You can get there however you'd like. Ooh, my toes are a little crabby. Forward fold, you can either do like a swan dive down, or you can do a gentle roll. Dealer's choice. I'm going to do a gentle roll because I just kind of like feeling the vertebrae down my back. The big focus for somatic yoga is really on the exhale. Excuse me. Because as we exhale, we're really trying to look for the muscles that can relax with us. Now, I don't care which muscles you're relaxing. Don't care. The idea is that you are able to pinpoint with your mind a muscle that can release. You want to sink into these poses, because these aren't strength poses, right? While you might get some inadvertent strength in it, that's not the goal. The goal is the stretch. We want the Now you may not get here as far down in your forward fold. Don't care. Get wherever you get and say, doesn't that feel nice? Now in this forward fold, my honest to goodness favorite thing to do in the forward fold is to move my weight forward in my toes and also backward in my heels, and to really take stock in my brain of how that feels in the muscle, right? I'm making a mental note as to how that feels in the muscle. So if I bring my weight forward, supported by my hands, we're not balancing, this isn't a balance thing. And I come forward and I put the weight in my toes, how does that feel along the hamstring? Because, right, like that's mostly where we're stretching, is along the hamstring. You'll feel stretches other places too, but that's kind of the main stretcher there. Now, to me, it feels like it really kind of drives deeper towards the knee on that hamstring. And I say, oh, that's interesting. That feels kind of nice if I'm more in my toes. And I can kind of lift up my heels, right? It's that kind of weight. Nice deep breath. I might even be able to sink in a little deeper. And then I'll kind of pull it back to my heels. If you haven't ever done it before, you might feel a little bubbly. That's all right. It's okay. Note, Find your balance. But now I'm less off my toes. And now it feels like that muscle is traveling farther up towards the glute, still in the hamstring. And now I just sunk even more into that fold. And with each breath out, it's that mental yoga of giving your body permission to be in this stretch, to just be like, hey man, you don't have to prop yourself up. We're good here. Chill. You might just be at end of range where you don't maybe relax into it very much. It's okay. It's all right. In which case then you're like, hey, I'm good. That feels nice. Let me give it an appreciative sigh. If you want to move a little within this stretch, curiosity and creativity is always welcomed. You are not stuck in any sort of a static stretch here. If your body is asking for some additional movement that maybe I'm not guiding you through, but your body's like, oh, I really got to twist here. Yo, twist, please. If your body's asking for it, this is the somatic part of the yoga. If your brain body bridge is already strong enough where your body's like, I really need to, oh, sorry. That IT band is calling at me. But if your body is already asking for and you know what it's asking for, please respond to that call. That's honestly what I want for you in this practice. I'm just showing you how I do it. But in the end, your body and mine are not the same. What my body is asking for may not be what your body's asking for. That's all right. Okay, that feels like enough of that for me. I'm going to come down into a tabletop. Feel free to get there however you'd like. I'm pretty much just going to drop my butt and come down. As we move through these stretches, please move slowly. We have been in some of these for an extended time. And we probably have moved some of these muscles beyond where they're used to be going. Ow, toes. Which is perfectly fine, perfectly healthy. Pants, yoga leggings. So they just are a little more vulnerable than they are usually. So we're just tender with them. All right, cat cow. We're gonna breathe in, drop our belly, breathe out, arch your back. Breathe in, drop your belly. Breathe out, drop your back. Or breathe out. Whatever. Go at your own pace, whatever feels good. Now, I usually do a couple of those kind of traditional cat cows. And now this is free time. Okay? Whatever your body is asking for, just give it. I'm gonna, like you can see, perhaps I've tucked under my toes, so I'm gonna kind of push on those a little, see if my toes need a little stretch. I'm gonna come down into this kind of playful puppy thing. Because I'm probably not gonna go into like a full down dog today, so I'm gonna do kind of an abbreviated stretch. This is exploration time. Plenty of deep breaths out. Most people would say deep breath in, but again, the focus for me is the deep breath out because that's the release I'm looking for. I want the muscles to relax. I want that ah sensation to be driving the force here. I want to notice what muscles are saying, hey, I want to say ah. Hey, I want to feel that stretch too. And if it looks weird, if it looks ugly, nobody can see you. You can see me, and I clearly don't care. So there. I don't know if I was going to make a point or not. Just try to move your body in ways that maybe you've never moved it before. You'd be surprised what muscles you can find just by moving weird. It doesn't matter, It just doesn't. Or like, if you took a yoga class that one time, you're like, oh, I remember I did this pose and it kind of felt nice, but I don't really remember how to do it. It's fine. Just make something up. It doesn't matter. There's no yoga teacher in here who's going to say you're doing it wrong. If your body can move that way and it feels good, you can do no wrong. So good job. Stick your ass in the air and enjoy it. Make some tweaks on it. Enjoy the fact that you are spending this time on the mat just exploring what your body can do. Or what it can do. If you find a spot that's stuck, hey, that's just information. Just on information gathering. I can usually do that kind of up dog, but my lower back's a little stuck today. New information. I'm going to come back to a little child's pose here. If you're... just adjust my shirt here. If you're doing a child's pose, make sure your knees are wide enough for your chest, your ribs to kind of fit in between. Remember those audible breaths out. I'm a really big fan of making noise as you exhale. I think psychologically that's good for you. I don't have science behind that. There's probably a study somewhere. I don't have that handy. But I'm a firm believer that if your body wants something and you're listening to it and you give it whatever it is that it wants, within reason, right? Like, don't just inhale sugar all the time, okay? Although, heaven knows, I eat my daily dose of sugar. But like, if it's a physical sensation, if you scratch that itch, there's a reason your body wants it. And in the case of an audible exhale, it's some sort of a release. And I think we've all been conditioned to like, we're all conditioned to be embarrassed of making the sound, right? Because like, I don't know, we all have that friend that's like a massage therapist that was like, oh my God, I had a client make the most obscene noise when I was giving him or her a massage. And you're like, oh, I would never do that. Okay, well, yeah, there's a time and place, right? Like, don't make creepy sex noises to your massage therapist. All right, I am going to do a little down dog. Sorry, I lied. Ass in the air. I'm going to just stretch out my calves a little. This is not a perfect down dog. I don't want to hear about it, yogis. I don't care. I'm not here for that. Feel free to be static in your down dog if you want. Don't care. I just want to stretch out those calves a little. And we're going to come up here into a pigeon. So if you already know what that is and you want to meet me there, by all means. If you'd rather do like a figure 4 on your back, you can do that.
All right, so I'm going to start with my left leg here. I'm going to do a dog split. And this left knee is going to come up behind left wrist. And we're going to settle down behind it. All right, important thing about pigeon, this knee should not be uncomfortable. You should feel comfortable here. If you need a towel or a block to kind of support this left hip, by all means, grab it. Support that. You're saying, oh, well, but creepy noises. But in this practice, theoretically, you're by yourself, or if you're not, hey, I hope you have a really good friend with a good sense of humor. I make all sorts of noises. I don't care. I welcome creepy sex noises. Because if your body wants to make that noise, you are achieving some sort of release here. Good on you, mate. Frankly, y'all are the only ones who can hear me, so enjoy my creepy sex noises. Woohoo! And then tell me what I sound like in the comments below, but they better be funny. Or I am not laughing along with you. Haha. Alright, so in this pigeon, this is certainly a static pose in any sort of a traditional class, yoga class. And what it's really getting into here is this glute, right? We're stretching the glute. But I find this is a really great one to be kind of exploring. So if you are kind of tilting and leaning into this pigeon, you'll find you hit different tiny fibers of muscles stretching kind of within that hip socket. Or at least that's how it feels to me. You may find that it feels different in your body. Please notice it. Notice what that feels like. If you can name it, all the better for your mind-body bridge. If you can be like, oh, this feels like almost like if you took like one of the rubber band balls and like rolled it across a surface where you can almost feel the different rubber bands, but because it's all a jumble, I couldn't possibly tell you which rubber band it was. Kind of like that. If you can put an imagery to it, again, all the better. That strengthens that mind-body bridge. That's the somatic part of this. We get the benefit of relaxing the muscle and talking to the muscle and saying, hey, that feels really good. Hopefully this feels good. I want you to feel good. But it's also just giving the brain something to do. So if you are somebody who is struggling with anxiety or thought loops, effing thought loops, this is just a great exercise. Mental exercise. This is the mental yoga. It's putting the brain to work saying, what is this sensation? Name it. What does this feel like? Do you like it? Can we find a twist or a turn? And again, please feel free to twist and turn within your pigeon. You're not stuck in one spot. Can we find a place where this feels good? If I breathe out at this certain point in this pose, does it feel good? Can it feel good? How does it feel good? Like, if you're an analytical person, man, this is so fun. If you're a nerd, it's really fun. I love finding weird poses where my body feels good. I love being like, oh, if I turn this funny way, it feels great. All right, I'm not gonna come out of pigeon, but I am gonna push away from the earth here. And it's a nice hip flexor stretch here on that right side. And that's one where I really get creative and like, how can I stretch that even more? Because it's not, strictly speaking, a hip flexor opener. All right, I'm gonna sit on this left hip.
carefully. We were in that pigeon a while. Be gentle with your body. Sometimes when you come out of it, it's like, that kind of hurts. It's okay. It's okay. Settle. It's because, again, we've pushed that beyond where it's normally comfortable. This leg's going to come around in front. We're going to go into fire log. Woo. Fire log is another one where if you want to sit on a towel or a block, by all means. My body is still a little bit stiff from being sick. All right. Hello, fire log. So fire log, if you haven't ever done it, you want your ankles over your knees like this. Side to side may be very different. So just know that already going into this. May be very different. This is my easier side. So my knee to ankle is a lot closer on this side than it is on the other side. So if you want to see something funny, take note now. All right, then we're gonna keep our low back straight as long as we can. We're gonna bring that chest forward. Careful, and whenever you're comfortable, however you're comfortable within reason, if you find a nice stretchy point and you're like, that's as far as I'm gonna go, cool. But we're connecting your brain to this positive, relaxing, stretchy sensation in our muscles. And our muscles are sending that mail to our brain saying, hey, this feels good. And our brain, in identifying it, especially if you're like, oh, this feels like, or I identify this sensation as X, Y, or Z, you're solidifying that bridge, that circuitry. You're saying, yes, I do feel that. And yes, it does feel nice. And then there's like all this dopamine just floating around, being like, oh yeah, this is so great. I love dopamine. After you've done a couple of nice deep breaths here in basic fire log, because it's a nice, stable, seated position, love this one for doing some side benders and some creative stretches. So you can follow me on some of those. I do some kind of like lateral, creepy crawly ones. Oh yeah. Kind of open up this side body here on that's left side body. And if you stay low, it's a very different sensation than if you open, kind of like a clamshell. So for now, I'm going to stay low and lateral. For now. And I know there is going to be a very different feel going towards the left versus going towards the right. You'd think I would have figured out by now which one is more advantageous as far as which leg is on top and which way it feels better to go left or right. Honestly, I think there's benefit to both. So if you have a more scientific answer to that, you can tell me what that is. But I think there's just enough difference in how your body is positioned that why not do both? All right, so we stayed lateral. If you found something great and you were like, I needed to stay there longer, hey, stay there longer. I don't care. So now I am going to open up more like a clamshell. And that is a very different feeling. Feel free to you can see I'm just like laying here like I'm bored.
This is not a strength competition. I don't need to hold my head up because that's not what I'm stretching. I'm stretching these side benders. If you want your arm up, go ahead. I don't particularly love it. It feels more vulnerable than I would like to be right now. If you feel your breath holding or getting shorter, that probably means you're a little bit past where you're comfortable. So either slow down, find some supportive holds, if you will. Find a spot where you can take a deep breath. And just tiny movements matter. Like even just tensing the shoulder makes a world of difference along that side there. I'm going to try to come down and be gentle. If you notice that like moving in a certain way is hard for your body or it's painful, hey, we don't want pain here, okay? Back out, move slowly. If you find a pain point, notice it. But that's not the goal. You will find pain points. It's okay. If you can breathe into a pain point, if it's like one of those things where you're like, it's stretchy and it feels good, but it also kind of hurts. If you can breathe into it and relax into it and it feels good, that's a very different feel than ouch, 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 it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Okay, don't do that. That's interrupting your circuitry. That's not releasing dopamine, okay? All right. Now, hey, we haven't even done the other side on pigeon yet. Yay! So let's do the other side. These knees have been bunched up a bit, so let's give them a little stretch. Wiggle your toes because you can. Fix your leggings because God only knows what underwear is showing back there. Slow and gentle, folks. Slow and gentle. All right, get to that pigeon however you want. You can just climb into it. I am going to do a little down dog because I like it. Sorry, still draining from cold. All right, we're going to switch to our right leg. If you want to do a split, have at it. If you don't, okay. Right leg up. Behind that right leg. Hurt. Right leg. Behind the right wrist. Settle down. Again, if you need a towel or a bolster of some variety. Ow. That is more tight on that right glute. What's great about this practice too, especially if you do this kind of a daily once over, if you have any sort of a bodywork person that you're working with, chiropractor, deep tissue, dry needle, MAT, any of those people, this somatic yoga is awesome for just noticing. You're just aware of your body. You're learning. You're understanding how your body moves in any day-to-day activity, right? Like, because we're doing the same things side to side, you're like, oh, this left side is tighter than the right side when I do this specific movement. And if you are being creative consciously, and you're kind of doing these funky movements within a particular stretch, that's more information for your bodywork people. A muscle activation technique specialist can take this information of like, hey, I'm in pigeon, but I was also doing this funny thing where I was over here and my arm was up like that. And they're like, oh, that's a whole lot of information for me. It's a lot of information. Because it, for all you know, maybe it's not actually deep in this glute. Perhaps you've actually activated, and I'm going to F this up, so don't follow me on this. But actually, yes, it's this glute, but it's because the glute was triggering something in, this upper hip that actually triggered something in this rib, which actually triggered something up in your neck. Well, shit, if you went in and you said, I was in pigeon and was just in pigeon, and, your chiropractor's like, oh, okay, I can fix that. Well, it's not the problem in the pigeon. The problem is actually up in your neck. But you didn't tell them that your arm was way up like this, right? You were just in pigeon. Okay. But now, because we're exploring all these different little avenues too, that's more information. It's more information for you and your body of like, hey, I didn't know I could do that, which weird sense of accomplishment. I kind of like that. But more information for these people who are trying to help you and make your body feel good, feel pain-free, maybe not even good, but just pain-free. Ow. All right, again, I'm going to do that kind of hip opener. I find if I get up on my toes and really stretch out that leg, that feels better for that hip flexor opener. It's more information. Like, there's a reason your doctors take a medical history every time you go in. What meds are you taking? When was the last time you did X, Y, or Z? Like, information is important. All right, fire log on the other side. I know I was a little quicker on that one. I wasn't feeling as, needy. All right, here we go. So, if you remember, this is fun. How close am I on this side? Wow, that's a big gap. Side to side, our bodies are not the same. All right, if you need to sit on a block or bolster of some variety, please feel free. Having in this baseline of information, A tells you when something's wrong, or B is just like, oh, that's just how I'm built. Like for me, I know that's just kind of how I'm built. That's not necessarily new information. That's probably more to my scoliosis in the back. Probably. But it is information for my MAT guy. His name is Zach, and he's incredible. And it's something we watch because, yeah, that might be how I'm built, but it's also something that can be worked on, Same with chiropractors, if you see one. That's just great information. And when something small starts changing, that could be indicative of something else changing. God only knows. Maybe you have some sort of a digestive issue. I don't know. It doesn't have to be necessarily mechanical. Or it could be a sign you're holding stress in some funny way. It's all connected. Duh, it's all connected. But I think we forget. We're like, oh, it's cardiovascular, it's mental, it's muscular. Yo, they all feed each other. You can't separate them. And so my personal goal within the somatic yoga is at least to tie the musculoskeletal to the mind, because I think all of this stress and all of these swirly thoughts, all of this stuff we carry around in our brains, gosh, that has to have an enormous effect on our muscles and how we carry ourselves. Think of what happens the minute something stressful happens. Everything tightens. Oh my God. Now our shoulders are in our ears. That's just one example. Oh, that hip is talking to me. All right, so I'm going to go lateral and explore a little. All right, so you can hear me. I'm saying ow, 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 ow. It's that kind of like, ow, it's just tight. I don't have nearly the range that I do on the other side. This is exploration. This is not as comfortable as the other side for me. It's not the kind that I can breathe into. It feels more blocky. So this is what happens when you find pain. Okay? I'm noticing it. I'm aware of it. I'm not going to sit here and stay here because that's not going to be bringing me joy and right? This is also life. This is how life happens. It's not always blissful and amazing. Anybody who says any sort of a yogi doesn't have pain is ridiculous. That's silly. This is a daily practice because we have daily stressors and we have daily things just like everybody else. Ooh, hello. Got a nice little pop in my back, which means things are moving. Amazing. Yay. See, but now that feels nice. Getting a little more space in my side benders, or my side benders. That feels nice. So I may not have quite the lateral movement that I had on the other side, but the side benders feel nice. So I'm going to sink into the places that feel good. Because that's where the dopamine is going to get released. That's where the is going to be. I need a little more twisty on this side. Vague message I get from my body. Might need some more twist. Ooh, I can already feel that's feeling a little tender, so I'm going to be really slow, really gentle. If you find those spots that just feel a little extra vulnerable, it's okay. Talk to your body. See, I get it. I hear you. I understand. You don't need to push past. You don't need to get anywhere. There's no ribbon at the end of this other than to say, oh, I feel better. So if you push past where your body's comfortable, you're just asking for injury. Don't do that. That feels better. I can feel it really stretching kind of like on the crest of this hip here. That feels nice. Yeah. It's a little bit of ow. I haven't, because I was sick this last week, I haven't had the same amount of stretching that I normally do. So my body isn't feeling quite as fluid. We notice. We just notice. It's not, there's no shame with this. There's no guilt. It's just like, yeah, that'll do it. Oh, but it does feel nice to have those hips talked to. They really haven't been talked to today. Well, not today, this week. Pardon my sniffles, guys. All right, let's come back to a, no, I don't want to sit. I want to lay down. Shavasana, corpse pose. We are going to end in corpse pose. So feel free to be comfy. If you've got your towel or whatever and you want to just
Put that under your head. Yeah, we'll just lay those all the way down. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, crackety hips. At the end of my daily practice, I actually really, contrary to what we're doing right now, I actually don't like to end on a shavasana because I get sleepy and then I want to have a nap. So I usually end sitting. But we'll end laying down today because I don't know. Sure, why not? But I do want you to end your practice in a way that suits you. It's your practice. And if you've got things to like get up and go do today, I don't recommend a shavasana. I don't recommend corpse pose for the end anyway. But as you're finishing your practice, I want you to notice how your body feels. And this is a positive body scan, okay? Positive body scan. What I do not want you to do is look through, oh, I got a cough. Sorry. See, that's why we don't do corpse pose. We end up coughing. So I'm going to sit instead. I want you to look for things that feel good, things that feel stretched, things that feel calm. Things that feel connected, things that feel that's the daily, right? The daily practice of, oh, my body feels better. I'm glad that I did this. I'm so sorry. Nobody likes to cough. I'm so sorry. But this practice today connected your muscles to your brain. We found funny muscles that felt good. We found stretches that you didn't maybe know that you could stretch. We found positions that you didn't know you could do or that didn't know would feel good. That's the goal of somatic yoga. We want to find those things that are unusual, but that just feel nice. And we've cared for our bodies and for our minds in ways that are simple. They're free, frankly. They're available to you at all times. And in the end, they're strengthening pathways that are going to be helpful and accessible to you at all times. I hope you enjoyed going on my daily somatic yoga journey with me today. Thank you for joining me on the mat, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great day, guys. Thanks.